to Instructional Design, or ID for short for e-learning. Now before we start, let's ask ourselves the basic question. What exactly is instructional design? Well, let's look at the history behind it to better understand. The origins of instructional design derive from the time of World War II, when psychologists and educationists alike congregated together to develop training material and apply it to its evaluation. Now, looking at some dates between the mid-1950s and 60s, in 1954, B.F. Skinner was able to program instructional material. In 1956, Bloomberg Benjamin was able to identify 3 domains of learning. In 1962, Robert Glaser, criterion reference measures, and in 1965, Robert Gagne identified the 9 events of instruction. Now, with modern day in mind, 1990s and 2000s, we look at social media and then online learning, which are gradually starting to take over the world with their innovative advances in technology. Young Mike here continues to update the world on Facebook about his experience in instructional design, which is the best. It focuses on him as a learner through contextual learning and non-stop fun. Now, Mrs. Eberhardt's class is learning about ADDIE, A-D-D-I-E, and she asks, what does it mean? Well, looking at the idea to analyze, design, develop, and then implement and evaluate, these are the ideas that constitute ADDIE. But you know what? It's an ongoing process. We review these steps to implement a more strategic learning style and teaching style. With backwards design, or understanding by design with the ending product in mind, we take this end product and effectively implement teaching methods and styles and resources to properly teach our students. Quality Matters is a nationally recognized blend of online and traditional classrooms, with 8 general standards such as course overview, course technology, learner support, and accessibility and usability. These are ideas that constitute the institutions using Quality Matters. Speaking of quality, let's talk about grades. It's a touchy subject for students and teachers alike. How are students getting graded? How are teachers grading their students? If you don't know, if you're confused, just stop and breathe, and let's think for a second. Rubrics are an impeccable thing. With fancy titles or A through F grading with point breakdown and task descriptions, we're able to look at the types of rubrics, such as holistic versus analytical. Holistic rubrics take actually multiple learning criterion, and they assess everything at the same time, at the learner's level of performance, while analytical takes the individual approach with individual learning criterion being assessed on the learner's level of performance. Now, with rubrics in mind, let's look at accessibility. For everybody, it's best because people are different and people exist out there wanting to learn. So the universal design of learning takes into account the equal opportunity for all people. If you don't think people believe in the idea of learning, you need to look at some federal legislature about ADA Title 1 and 2. Now, looking at the OER ecosystem, the open educational resources, community, content, product, and distribution, all are a virtuous cycle equating to the idea of knowledge, minus the notion of having to go from kindergarten to university education, plus online access, tangible resources, and free, flexible, modern, fun interaction. This, my friends, is instructional design.
Created using Powtoon.